Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Mighty Movie Pod. My name is Ryan.
That was impressive.
Thank you.
It is I, Josh.
How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Good to hear.
Normally I'm more long-winded. I couldn't think of anything. I was just like, I'm all right.
Keeping it brief. That's what I like. We're back with another thrilling edition of the Mighty Movie Pod. We're going to be talking about some movies. Josh maybe talks about a show while I check Twitter or something.
Yeah, because, he's above television.
Television for the idiots.
God,
Josh,
douche.
keeping it fresh, keeping everybody in the know. So we saw a movie.
We did.
It's a blockbuster. It's one of the big summer events of the season.
It
Godzilla,
busts a lot
King of the
blocks.
Monsters?
Yes.
Okay. We saw that, and we're going to talk about that. I think before we talk about that, though,
Ooh.
I want to talk a little bit about a movie I watched on Netflix. It's called, what was it called again?
I didn't watch it, but I know the title. It's Always Be My Maybe.
Yes. It's the second in the new trend of Asian romantic comedies following the success of
Crazy Rich Asians.
Crazy Rich Asians. This
Did you see that one?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we
I thought-
talk about that one?
I think I may have mentioned it a little bit. Yeah,
How
it was
that?
It was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually thought it was. It wasn't very funny, but it was. Because it had the feels.
I think it's the sidekick girl. She's on that Fresh Off the Boat show.
Yes.
I think that's her, and she's
and,
really funny.
And I
on the
believe
show.
some of the people in this show or in this one are from Fresh Off the Boat.
Yeah. Doesn't it have the FBI agent guy from
from
Ant-Man?
Ant-Man, yes.
Yeah.
He's
That guy kills me. He's been around for a long time. He's always fun.
Yeah, and what is her name? Allie something is the main
Larder?
chick. Allie Larder, is that her name? I forget.
No, that's the girl from. Oh shit! Was it the first Final Destination she was in?
Oh yeah, I think you're right.
yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. This one is less. It doesn't really have much to do about them being Asian. They just so happen to be Asian.
Yeah.
The story doesn't revolve around that like
The Asian
like
culture.
Crazy Rich Asian does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asian culture, not even really. A little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's a perfectly serviceable romantic comedy in a straight to Netflix thing. Is actually got better production value than some of the other lower key ones. But it's also, it's not hard to shoot romantic comedies, but it looks good. They had
Does it look better than a Hallmark movie?
Yes. No, much better. Exactly.
Is it actually funny?
Yeah, no, it's actually pretty. This one had more humor in it.
Okay.
It was more about the humor. It was less schmaltzy and family driven and this and that. But things that are very, very funny. Everybody needs to go watch this movie. It's only an hour and 42 minutes long. But right in the
Ryan's favorite time.
right in the middle of the movie, there is a cameo.
Damn it! I was hoping
There is
it
a
was musical
celebrity
number.
cameo of somebody playing themselves. And it's fucking amazing.
Is it George Takei?
It's not.
Damn it!
It is not an Asian person.
Oh.
And I was totally not expecting it. So just find the movie and press play. Don't fucking read anything. I saw most of the trailer and it did not give this away,
Okay.
which you think they would want to because adding star power to
Does
to
Star
get
Power
people-
really matter on Netflix though?
I don't think so. So the fact that they hid this, I found was very, very funny, and it killed me. The whole it's a big plot point in the movie. It lasts for about
so it's important.
15, 20 minutes. It's an important part of the movie.
Well, it's like Matt Damon in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Nobody knew that was coming.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's there for a good chunk of the film.
Yeah, this is him playing himself.
Not a good chunk. But...
This is him playing himself, which every time an actor does, that's always a ridiculous version of themselves.
Will Shatner and
Yeah.
Fanboys.
Exactly. And it killed me. And you should watch it. I'm not even going to give it away.
Okay.
Although I might.
Don't.
But
Don't ruin. You love spoiling things.
it's true. But I suggest you go watch it. The rest of it, it's a perfectly serviceable romantic comedy where I say like, oh, let me guess this is gonna happen, and then it does. But it's got actual jokes in it, which are it's better than some of the like comedies that are out there trying to be full on comedies.
Yeah.
But again, not great. Perfectly serviceable. It's on Netflix. You have nothing
I think
to
a
lose.
lot of the comedies that I've seen and enjoyed have been streaming service exclusive lately, like the shows or films. Otherwise, I
I agree.
really enjoy a lot of big studio comedies anymore. We were talking about that on one of these episodes.
We talk about it constantly.
Yeah.
Because it's very disappointing.
Especially you. Yeah, you get real upset.
Very, very disappointing.
Speaking of comedies that were disappointing, we both watched Holmes and Watson.
Oh, yeah. I totally forgot.
I just remembered that right now.
Yeah.
You should check it out.
It's also 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's not as bad as it's made out to be, while still being one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
It's it's definitely the worst of the John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell team ups.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It is.
Like Step Brothers, it's like really dumb.
You remember how in Anchorman 2, how they were just like, just do your thing, guys. And then they did their thing for most of the movie, and it's awful. That's what happens with this movie. They walk into a room and there's, evidence. And then they do a bit unrelated to the plot for the next 2 to 3 minutes.
They had a setup, like they set up a young Sherlock Holmes, right? And it had some jokes kind of peppered in there, but that were like, oh, that's dumb, but nothing too crazy.
I think the kid part was actually the best part of the movie.
It was. And then they immediately cut to like him as an adult, setting him up as this great detective who's very accomplished and whatever.
And he's a dingus.
And they don't even push the plot forward. They just immediately start talking about nothing and improving and fucking around. And then they have a little bit of plot. And the jokes that are involved in like...
There's a bit where he puts on different hats for like 4 minutes.
Yes.
And it never gets funny.
When they're driving the plot forward, the jokes that are usually in those scenes are okay.
Yeah.
Like John C. Reilly fucking shooting guns at everything for no reason.
That was pretty funny.
And
that's standard. Yeah, that's standard fare from the two of them. The one that I thought was great was when they go to the slums.
Yes.
And they're not even 5 feet away from their cart or their cabbie. And it's just like stripped bare.
Yes.
As they're walking away, these young hoodlums are just ripping the cart apart. It's hilarious.
Then it transitions to a scene and they're like, we got to fill some time. And it's just nonsense.
It's so, there's this whole bit of them eating onions.
Yeah. That was right at the beginning.
That was at the beginning.
And you think it's going to be really, really bad.
Yeah.
And it gets a little bit better. And then it still has scenes of just being really, really bad.
Yeah.
But like, you can't edit down a 90-minute movie to the extent you would need
otherwise you don't get
get the jokes that were any good.
The funny thing is that they tried to release it on Netflix after everybody was like, no. They tried to put it on Netflix and Netflix said no. And if Netflix tells you no, you're doing a pretty bad job.
Agreed. Especially with something that had like somewhat of a budget. I mean, it is period set. So like,
it's the same Sherlock Holmes the locations that they use for everything. That backlot in England.
Yeah. It's not as bad as everybody made it out to be.
I still chuckled in a lot of it, but like it's just
I was never like
it's
it
one
was
of
never
those
painful.
It's one of those ones where it's like it starts off not funny, these bits, and then they keep going. And I feel like it's that thing where it's like, oh, it's not funny at the beginning, but then it'll get funny, then it'll stop being funny, then it's funny again.
Exactly.
And it never happens. It's just dumb all the way through, and you're just going, when are they going to solve anything? When is going to... It's kind of like, I think
it is very inconsistent with how the characters, like, their abilities, because he does the whole, like, I'm going to... He does
the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes joke. Well, like, he's either a brilliant person or a complete moron at the drop of a hat. Like, there's no, like, he doesn't get certain things. It's literally, he's a genius right now in this section. And then 2 seconds later, he's a complete idiot.
Yes, and then 3/4 of the way, and they did set this up when he uncries the
that
kid.
Was pretty funny.
But some 3/4 of the way through the movie, it was like, no, he needs to learn to feel to make all this.
Yeah, that bit at the it wasn't that he's a moron, that he's a dum-dum, and that he's an arrogant bastard. No, it's that he doesn't have any emotions.
Yes. And you had forgotten about it by that point because it hadn't come up since he uncried.
Yeah, well, and John C. Reilly, he's like a brilliant doctor, but then he's an idiot all the rest of the time. Like it's so bad. It's so stupid. I want to say tonally tonally uneven, but it's
Yes.
not toned. It's got the same bad tone the whole
Yes.
time, but the characters are just
It's character behavior that's very
there you
uneven.
go. Yeah.
But the-
Behaviorally uneven.
Yes, but the tone of the movie is very, very consistent. Ridiculously stupid.
Yeah, it's bad. It
Yeah.
is really bad.
I totally forgot that we watched that.
Yeah, dude, that's funny because I had two, and then we were talking about Netflix and comedies and studio comedies, and I was like, oh man, there was a big studio comedy that Netflix didn't want, and we just watched it. But yeah, no, it's really bad, but it's not the worst film that's ever been made.
No.
Like it's not even the worst comedy that's ever been made.
No.
It's I don't know. I think it's because we saw movies like Super Troopers 2, Joe Dirt 2, and SLC Punk and all
Yep.
2 and all that stuff. We're just like, no. You don't know what bad comedy is.
True.
Someone was trying with this movie, and I'll give them a thumbs up for that.
Yeah. And the thing with Anchorman 2, I've always said, is there's actually
There's an
it feels
interesting
like
story
it's two
there.
movies merged together because I did like the whole filling for time and them like inventing, speculating about high speed chases,
news, speculative news, and the
Yeah.
buzzword thing and all that.
and then it was just too damn long.
It was way too long.
Yeah, and they
Well, and
as soon as it got back to the callbacks.
the news story
Mhm.
took a back seat, and I know it kind of takes a back seat in the first one, but it's still the centerpiece upon which everything is built around.
the second half of the movie was all built around callbacks.
Yeah,
And the stuff that wasn't all callbacks was actually good. And
Yeah.
the problem with Super Troopers 2, for instance, is it was nothing but callbacks.
It was nothing but
They didn't do
callbacks.
anything original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So with Holmes and Watson, at least it was not Super Troopers 2 or Joe Dirt 2 for nothing can be as bad as Joe
Nothing
Dirt
can be
2.
as bad as Joe Dirt 2. I watched a bit of Ishtar for the first time today, and I turned it off, but I'd never seen it before.
I mean, I turned it off, but
It still wasn't Joe Dirt 2.
Jesus. Well,
Joe Dirt 2 just made me sad.
it was, yeah. That movie is way better than it has any right to be, and then Joe Dirt 2 just managed to fucking...
Joe Dirt 2 makes me so sad, man.
And that was like a passion project to get done for them.
Yeah.
But so was Super Troopers 2, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
They kickstarted Super Troopers 2,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it's Indiegogo. And I don't know what the fuck happened.
Oh, neither.
I mean, I guess there's a reason they haven't been making movies for all this time.
It's funny. I was sitting there thinking about it while we were watching that movie, and I was like, I wonder if Broken Lizard was just like a 2-hit wonder.
Yeah, probably.
Because I mean, Slam & Salmon's pretty good, but it's not.
it's not great.
Yeah, and then Club Dread is terrible.
Yeah, Club Dread's not good. Slam and Salmon was kind of just, that's a fun little
Yeah,
thing they did.
it was made in 48 hours.
Yeah,
right?
it's a fun little directed video thing they did. But like, yeah, I think Super Troopers and Beer Fest was all they had in them.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Comedies, am I right? It's not a comedy. Well, it wants to be in parts.
Yeah, it follows the Marvel format.
Yes. Well, let's get into it.
Okie dokie.
The main event for this evening is Godzilla King of the Monsters, right?
Why do you say that?
Because the original was the King of Monsters, right?
It was Gojira King of Monsters.
Yeah,
That
okay.
was the American release?
Yes. So that's what I don't want to get those two titles confused. Like
Yeah.
people who say Rise of the Skywalker. Nonstop. So anyway, Josh, what did you think about Godzilla King of the Monsters?
I loved it. I loved everything about this movie.
I asked you that, but I knew this because
Yeah.
of the stupid, gigantic shit-eating grin and the thumbs up that you gave me when the credits started rolling, which I felt bad.
You were so mad at me. You were like, fucking thumbs up, really?
I felt bad at giving you shit because I did enjoy the movie, but you were too enthusiastic.
Nah, man.
Continue.
That movie-
Continue on.
That movie was amazing.
Continue on.
You're a
Josh.
damn hater. No, it's just it has all the hallmarks of your Godzilla movie. I do have complaints about the movie, and we'll go into that, but it doesn't lessen my love for it. I honestly still think that as much as I love this, I think Kong of Skull Island is a bit better. I think I enjoyed Kong Skull Island a bit more. But this has all the hallmarks and staples of your Godzilla movie. It has the kind of bland cookie cutter human story aspect going on. It's got the ridiculous super science that no one can explain. Someone's trying to control the monsters. It's got this wacky "I'll create world peace. Man is the true monster" storyline going on. It's got this the whole her whole angle about how the monsters can create a better world because we've ruined it with our pollution and war and everything is such a quintessential part of Godzilla movies, and it's there, and it's so great. It's so good. I thought it was awesome. The the thing that makes this movie stand out the most to me is the soundtrack. The music is amazing in this whole movie. Bear McCreary is fantastic.
The sound in general,
and that's where I was going next. Is the set, like, you feel Godzilla walking? It's so good when they're firing rockets at the monsters, and they're just, you hear those doo, 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 doo. They have such a reverb and such a chunkiness to them that it feels like when Rodan's taking the jets out of the air. That's the best scene in the movie.
It really is.
Rodan's whole scene is the best part of the movie. It doesn't hurt that 3 of my favorite monsters are in the movie. You got Ghidorah, you got Rodan, and you got Godzilla. And then I like Mothra a lot, but there's something about, I like the mythos around Mothra, but Mothra usually disappoints me in the movies. I'm not that big a fan of her. And I was kind of sad to see that we didn't go into the mythology of Mothra in this movie. But that being said, there's a lot of really nifty little callbacks and Easter eggs for super nerd Godzilla fans like me. Like, all the outposts are named after the names on each of them. I think one of them is Outpost 92, which is the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah. And then there's like Outpost, I think it was Outpost 72 or something. I can't remember which one it was, but it's after King Kong versus Godzilla. And each one of them, all the numbers for the outposts that you see on the map, those are all different classic Godzilla movies and stuff. And I thought that was just awesome. And then, this is my speculation, I don't know for certain, but there's a character that's sort of tied to Mothra in the movie. And when they do a bit with her and her sister, there's this little quick montage of a bunch of photographs and stuff. And I think that it's all the women that played the little fairy twins that summon Mothra in all the movies. I'm not sure. I haven't no way to back that up, but I thought that was kind of interesting, kind of cool. And then there's a whole thing to like Destroya and Shin Godzilla at the end of the movie that's just awesome. But dude, it's one of those Godzilla movies that's made by clearly a fan who understands the monster genre. It's not the best, but it is the best Godzilla movie America has ever made. And I look forward to what's coming down the road. I loved it. I was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It's the best one we've made so far of Godzilla. Ryan, tell me how I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. It's definitely the best one, the best American Godzilla movie. I don't think that's debatable. Everything you're saying, because
I think we talked a little bit the other night, and we both had the same complaint.
Yes,
they don't bother me as much as you do.
Everything you're saying is completely correct. However, they didn't go. They were too afraid to make the story complex and interesting, and they were too cowardly to make it, like you're saying, like you're giving it too much credit, quintessentially Godzilla, where it almost doesn't matter at all. Because if that were the case, they wouldn't focus so much on creating characters and their motivations.
I feel like they did that for the Western movie audience.
Absolutely, but it's not good.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like watch Godzilla movies. I think maybe Shin Godzilla has the best story, but it gets bogged down in the story at one point. And then the original Godzilla has a pretty good story. But other than that, like Godzilla against Mothra has this really cool kind of like adventure story where like a guy and his ex-wife go on an adventure because he's accidentally like ruined ruins, and they're trying to figure out what this giant egg is. It's Mothra. and there's like it's like a romantic comedy. It's like romancing the stone in the middle of Godzilla. That one's kind of fun, but generally they're not good stories.
Exactly. So you don't put too much effort into it if it's
But
just
they made the
getting
mistake
to
of
the point where you want to see the monsters fight.
I agree with you. They made the mistake that has happened before in the Godzilla series, where they focus too much on the story that doesn't really matter and is really boring.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from.
Doing more exposition just to get back to those characters, it's almost like unnecessary when they're like, hey, shit's popping off and it's going to happen no matter what we do.
Yeah.
But let's keep focusing on what we're going to do.
Well, there's that whole bit in the movie.
Fruitlessly.
There's that whole bit in the movie where they explain everything and you're like, oh, cool. Yes. And then someone explains everything again to another character, and then they turn around and literally explain it again to someone else.
Basically,
you get exposition on top of exposition on top of exposition.
Basically, the story is completely unnecessary past Antarctica.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're just there to keep saying the same thing over and over and
I
over.
think the biggest problem with the story is that they tried to make it a world hopping story where they're going around the whole world.
That's what I'm saying. Leading up to that point, I was like, all right, yeah, this is actually really good. And like,
no, they could have just cut to Boston.
Shit pops off there and fucking, and then you kind of get like a little bit of intrigue.
They could have done
a little bit of dialogue, and then it's like Rodan. And then once that happens, it's like, just keep it going. Yeah. Keep it going. But no,
it does hit a lull. It does hit a lull after that, because that's when you get the big reveal.
And they react and just more exposition and more watching characters, especially uninteresting, stupid ones that scream a lot, doing stuff that's dumb.
Are you talking about Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
Yeah. Entirely useless in this movie.
And then good stuff happens again, and it's fine. But shouldn't we want more is what I'm saying. Like, if you're going to throw this amount of money and star power
that's what I was
shit,
saying. That's what I'm saying. I love this movie, and it does all the hallmarks great, but I'm looking forward to what they're going to do down the road. This is a fantastic first step.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to where they're going.
Yeah. Well, first step towards good.
First step doesn't matter. Yeah. That movie, no. This is a Godzilla movie, and this is they need to do this again, but pay attention to the actual criticisms of the movie, not just like, well, it looks fake and all that crap that's out there right now.
Yeah. It's just a mind-numbing blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
Turn your brain off.
Characters are stupid.
Blah, blah.
You
have actual
criticisms are like they either didn't embrace like fucking cheese dick.
Well, see, and that's why Kong
is by numbers.
That's why I like Kong better.
Exactly, and I realized the
irony.
Yes, exactly. I was gonna say hypocrisy.
I didn't want to be a dick
of being like, why didn't they just embrace these stupid cookie cutter tropey characters and blah blah blah.
Yeah, because they are there, but they're
and then
not,
Kong being like, dude, it just made me want to roll my eyes when it was just so cheese dick and fucking whatever.
I know, yeah.
So I guess I cannot be pleased then.
Yeah.
I like this a lot more than Kong of Skull Island. Because I didn't like that movie. I haven't watched it again. I said I'd give it another chance.
Yeah, give it another shot. Please. I watched it the other day, actually, on TNT. It was fucking great again.
Yeah. But this movie gave me everything that I wanted. It was just, there were times where I was just like, oh my God, like, what are we doing?
Another problem is it has the Aquaman-itis. It's much longer than it needs to be.
Yeah.
I was pleased with the amount of time it took to get to Godzilla.
Yes.
I was like, wow, 45 minutes in, he's already here and we're actually watching him do something.
No, Antarctica, when that happened, I was like, dude, they're fucking killing it with this movie, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's we talked about this the other night. I remember that. We were talking about the camera and just like how they're having giant monster fights and how the giant monster fights are very poorly filmed.
Yeah.
That's aggravating to me.
I was somewhere in thinking they wanted to do like believable, like kind of like how found footage wants to do, where they're like they want an excuse of why there's a camera there.
They want you there.
It's a fucking movie, man.
Yeah.
But then I remember in 2014 they did like
a lot of the on the ground shots,
shots, and they were they were uninterrupted.
Well, yeah, see, that's what I was going to say with, but they were uninterrupted in the 2014, and typically in the older films, and in this one,
It was like, hey,
there's
look at this monster
constantly
fight,
something-
and oh no, we were just panning to get to the people.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's
Oh
like,
no, we're whipping around to look at Kyle Chandler.
Oh no,
and it's like,
this
no,
is
no,
just
no.
a setup for a shot of a jet
No.
coming in.
Oh,
and
dude,
you're like,
that's the one that pissed me off the most. Is you get this great collision between Godzilla and Ghidorah, and Ghidorah's like ripping at his back, and
Yeah.
Godzilla's got one hand in the head, in his mouth, and the other one in his hand. He's like giving him, little sucker punches, and then here comes that big bomber and just takes up the whole fucking screen.
yeah,
That one pissed me off so much.
yeah. I don't know what they were thinking. If you're gonna be excited, like, oh shit, like
Yeah.
that's a reverse shot. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you need to
Yeah,
have.
you see that maybe come down in the distance, and then like you do one of those cool like out of focus zooms on like a shaky cam or something. That would be cool.
Yeah, you need the focus of that shot needs to be reversed.
Yeah. Not enough city destruction, which is a big deal to me.
Yeah, like I get, like I said, I felt bad because I gave you shit because I was like kind of upset that they didn't make a really good one.
Yeah.
It was just like that was pretty good.
If you could take some of the things from the 2014 and all the good stuff from this one and throw them together, and like the good stuff from Kong, and there's
Kong,
a lot
yeah.
of good to pick
Like
to
in
pull
the
from
day.
Kong. That's the other thing I was gonna say. Like
I don't-
we know you can do monster
It
fights
was-
during the day.
It looked better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, there is. If you take elements from all of those, obviously, yeah, you'd make the perfect
Yeah.
fucking Godzilla movie.
Maybe
Yeah,
they just need to do what Marvel did and just form a board of all the directors that have worked and just
Yeah, so it's not like I didn't
Make a
enjoy
giant
it,
Godzilla
especially
think
the
tank.
things you're bringing up. I did really, really enjoy. It's just there was a little bit of disappointment because I thought that maybe this was the time. And the thing is I think my disappointment's coming from I think they think this is the one as well, where they're like setting up like Shield for Godzilla,
Yeah.
and they're like teasing endless sequels, and which is Godzilla. That's fair.
Oh yeah, 30 movies I think.
Yeah, which is totally fair. But and I'm like, hey, I don't know if it was that good. It's not Iron Man good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Or I guess fucking I don't even know. If it's not Avengers good.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm not a big fan of the shield for Godzilla either.
Yeah.
I like that it's there, but maybe don't focus on them entirely.
it didn't land. Like you need to have somebody who's in modern era, like not
Yeah.
that needs to be globe trotting, I guess.
Yeah, well,
even though
like you got
didn't
you
really
got
need
you got
to.
Brie Larson being the reporter from Kong, and that was really cool. Like maybe with the next one we get like people that aren't a part of this agency, but maybe the agency has a hand in what's going on
Yes.
and stuff. But don't make them the center point for every single film.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, we work outside the government, except for when we don't.
Except for when we work with the government.
Yeah, and I don't want to nitpick it too much. It's
a
just
Godzilla movie,
odd.
yeah.
Like I fully will accept it's a Godzilla movie. That's just kind of how they are, and the shit that was good was great.
Mhm.
And I'm like, yes, true. But let's try to get a little more
Yeah.
one of these days. And overall, man, it's like I can watch any Godzilla movie to get some of the things that happened in this. And
Some of
makes-
it actually done a bit better.
it makes it kind of forgettable because they didn't take it over the top.
Wow.
So like
Harsh criticism from
like-
Ryan.
I'm excited because like you said, they actually understand what makes a Godzilla movie, and they
Oh
have
yeah,
time.
yeah. Doherty did a great job. I mean, we both loved Krampus, and like this dude clearly knows what he's doing with
Yes.
those genre type of movies.
Absolutely, and
I
with
feel-
sound especially.
Oh,
That guy's fucking sound design is out of
it's
control.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
amazing. Dude, like yeah, but I agree. Like let the dude off the chain. Just like I feel like there was a little bit. Kind of like in the early Marvel days, where there was a little bit of like still like no, we want you to do it this way kind of thing, and it's like no, just let the dude off the chain, let him do because there's so many good bases. Not base. That's a
Bases.
yeah bases. Yeah, thank you. Or just like basic ideas that could have been built upon throughout the whole film.
Yeah. So I don't want to dwell. And I know saying forgettable is really bad, but not. But I don't want to
I
dwell.
get
on
what
the,
you're saying,
I don't want
though.
to dwell on the criticism because, like you said, like everything you're talking about is like A plus, and we don't get that over here.
Mhm.
We don't get Godzillas like this.
Oh no, no, we don't.
So you got to take your wins where you can get them, man. And
Mhm.
I enjoyed myself.
I'm gonna see it again. I know I'm gonna see it again. I loved it that much. This is definitely a multiple watch for me.
And and I'm not the big monster movie guy anyway.
No.
I like them a lot. In fact, I like both of the stupid Pacific Rim movies.
Yeah. I love those movies.
and
And those are great because it combines two. It's the giant robots and the giant monsters.
Yeah, and I'm coming around to them. It's just kind of disappointing that this movie didn't see what we wanted. It gave us plenty of it, but
I think that's, again, like I said, they tried, and
Yes.
it's there. It's there. It's just it's not at the top of the mountain yet.
and what they implanted into it to try to like give it some pizzazz just wasn't doing it.
I feel like it's a lack of trust in your audience when it comes to the human story in this. Like,
Yeah.
they think that we need that. You don't. You really don't. Like,
Yeah,
just-
like look at Rampage, for instance. Like, there was no, that was almost 100% human story. You know what I mean?
yeah.
This is much better than that.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the bad part of all? Like, there's a common denominator with what makes these movies bad. Too much human story bullshit.
Too much human story.
Detective Pikachu, fucking
Plenty.
the original Godzilla, American Godzilla, 2014, whatever. Rampage, fucking Kong Skull Island's probably the only one that got it good because there was no escaping.
Yeah.
That was an isolated area.
Oh yeah. You couldn't get out, dude, and it added to the big.
But the parts I
spectacle
didn't
of
like
Kong
about it
coming
were the
out.
stupid fucking asshole humans. So that were goofy and ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that. Well, honestly, the only human parts I really enjoyed were Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, and John C. Reilly. I thought that part of the story was great. Sam Jackson was a little. Didn't need him. Some of the Marines were real cool though.
They were. And then when it comes to Pacific Rim, it's monsters, and if we're focusing on humans, it's under robots.
Yeah,
It falls under robotry. They don't
Exactly.
talk about
Well-
anything else besides monsters and robots.
yeah, and well, like, because it's like, and you need the human element in that movie because it is a different genre than the Godzilla movie.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like the only movies that from the Godzilla that I can think of that are similar are Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and like Tokyo SOS, and I think there's one more because like, and it's literally just it's the Mechagodzilla pilots and stuff, and it's got a lot of that going on, like oh, we have to fight Godzilla, machines, what do we do? Oh, humanity, no,
Yeah.
It's all that stuff, and you got that in this one where it's like in Pacific Rim where it drew its inspiration from like Voltron and Robotech and a lot of those old Gigantor and all those cool old classics, which is more about the humans in the machine fighting the monster that shows up every once in a while. Those parts are cool, but you really just want to see the giant robot.
Yeah, and outside of the Rodan scene, which was great.
You didn't see enough of the Mothra versus Rodan fight. That
And I really
looked like it would have been intense and cool.
And I really liked Mothra, but
Mothra's beautiful. In this
everything with Godzilla Shield is them talking to somebody else
on a TV screen
about like you don't do that, and it's like, no, we're gonna use Oxygen Destroyer, or you're the bad guy, you shouldn't be fucking around. Everything they do is like fucking through somebody else until the end, and then the end was also very good. It's that fucking middle bit.
Yeah,
that middle bit is just
I get it. From Mexico to Boston, takes a little too long. It's got a really long second act. That needs to be tightened up a little bit more. And like we were saying, Millie Bobby Brown really doesn't serve a purpose in the movie. No. She doesn't really. She does something finally at the end, but that could have happened anyway. Like it's like you said, it's like they keep finding overcomplicated ways to get these monsters to fight when you just need the monsters to fight.
Yeah, exactly. They were like, oh, it's a new alpha and this and that, and they're all fucking going nuts. And it's like, well, we should go there. for no reason.
Yeah.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
I still loved it.
I would.
I think it's awesome.
I would encourage people to see it.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, if I don't think, and you know, call me a hypocrite all you want, I don't think failing in the same areas that the previous movies
That the classics have
gives you like a good excuse of doing.
See,
that.
I don't see it as failing. I see it as an homage to what was already there, and they're working with that. And they're
and I would agree with that if they made it even worse than it was, like Kong Skull Island,
like Kong and Pacific Rim did. Yeah. I get you. That makes sense. Okay, I get where you're coming from.
They were very. I guess we should just go into the tone of it. I guess they were way too self-serious.
It was it was too serious, and then you have your one like wacky character, and he's actually, the movie's so serious. When he starts talking, it's a little annoying. Like, I thought he was kind of funny, but he doesn't really serve a purpose other than like, well, we got to put some comedy in here. It's that scene from Dark Knight Rises where with Tom Lennon. You know, they're just like, your cholesterol's high.
Yeah, cholesterol. You're mixing movies.
I'm mixing them up. That's G.I. Joe.
Cholesterol's a little high.
Yeah, God, that was G.I. Joe Retaliation.
But you're right. He's like, oh, your shit's all fucked up. What have you been doing?
And
you're Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's real tough out there on the tennis course.
Yeah, exactly. And I actually enjoyed that movie more than its more serious bullshit.
Ugh.
Because it didn't take itself. Let's keep on track here. Let's keep on track. I was gonna say,
are we gonna start going?
That you're right. If they had more, quippy banter.
Well, because like we keep saying with Kong Skull Island,
regular.
like the Marines have this joviality with each other, and they're kind of joking around the whole time and everything, you know. And then John C. Reilly, who is the perfect middle of not too serious, not too funny. I thought he was going to be, wacky, Watson.
Yes.
But to reference another discussion. But no, he's actually really, really good in the movie. He's arguably the best character in the movie.
Yeah. So when Peralta's dad tells his little jokes, he's the only one in the whole world with his sense of humor.
Yes.
So then it's very off-putting.
Yeah, because Thomas Middleditch's whole humor is just like, he's Thomas Middleditch.
Yeah. He's just...
he's a
little cowardly.
Look, he's kind of a weenie.
Yeah, he's a little. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of a wiener.
Yeah,
that's it. But he has very serious dialogue with other people.
He always has very serious dialogue.
Good luck to you.
Good luck to you. Yeah, seriously. He's like, I'll go with you. And he's like, can anyone else go with me? He's like, I know the way. And that's the joke.
Yeah, it was so funny because I remember when that scene was happening, I was just like, does Kyle Chandler have the fucking pull around here to be like, I'm taking an expensive ass fucking plane and 2 pilots to take me wherever I want. They're like, all right, sounds good.
Yeah, it's like it's Shield.
Yeah, and I'm like
you said,
okay.
I was like, I'm taking this. Hey Monarch, I'm taking your fucking car. Venture Brothers. I thought that was what came to my mind when he did it. I was like, oh my God, he just Brock Samsoned Monarch.
And then he came back.
Immediately.
So, yeah, which there was a story reason for. I was going to say it wasn't like in Suicide Squad. It was like, God. I'm out of here. I'm back again.
Out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Like you actually followed him back to
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's got its problems, but definitely give it a look. Like, I mean, as a man that loves it, I'm willing to admit that it's flawed.
Yes, in terms of giant monsters, it fucking does so well. Some shots in this movie are just breathtaking. They're fake. But no, they're very, very good.
Yeah.
And
it just, that complaint cracks me up. I'm like, arguably in a movie where it's always been a man in a rubber suit.
Exactly.
Like how can you be complaining now? You always know it's fake. That's what part of what makes it great.
You do what affects work.
I love the design of all the monsters in this movie. The one thing that disappoints me though, is because it's so dark in all the scenes, you don't get to see Ghidorah in all his golden glory. Like Ghidorah is beautiful. I think Ghidorah is one of the most terrifyingly gorgeous monsters that were ever designed. He's awesome looking. And in this, you don't get a lot of it. But there's some. I love that they expanded his wings. Like his wings are larger because in the original design, he has these doofy little wings on the sides. Gave him these big ass dragon wings, and he just looks so scary. And I like that the 3 heads have different personalities.
Yeah.
Mothra is the most beautiful monster in the entire movie.
Mothra has always been one of my favorites because it's just a
giant moth.
It's just a big ass moth.
Yeah.
And
in this one, she's not just a moth. She's like a bunch of different bugs, and it all works
has
together.
Like fucking scythe hands and
she got the mantis things and she got stinger and dude, she's beautiful in this movie.
Yeah, but I always
she glows.
The
lighting of her is amazing when she first gets her wings.
Her nature isn't just to destroy everything.
No, even if she's a guardian.
Even if she's a good guy, like Godzilla is supposed to be.
Yeah, well, good guy. Godzilla's an anti-hero type, and then Mothra is just straight up. She's a guardian creature.
Godzilla is like Ghost Rider, and Mothra is like Captain America.
All right. I don't want to like that metaphor because you don't know shit about Ghost Rider.
What do you know about Ghost? I know plenty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I just said. No more discussion.
Godzilla is like Ghost Rider.
No more discussion needed.
I don't need to back that up.
Nope. Certainly don't.
He's Nicolas Cage. Anyway, let's get back on topic. Yeah, dude, the monsters are beautiful. The sound is the star of this movie. It's just all the way around. The score, the sound effects. When Godzilla powers up in this, you feel like your hair is standing on end. It's so... It's so...
And luckily we were in an XD theater with sound that worked, unlike what was going on with Detective Pikachu.
Oh, that was so disappointing.
Yeah.
No, this was... I really enjoyed going to this one, man. I multiple watches for me for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, I don't want to be too much of a snob about
you're not because
a giant monster movie that's meant to go in the summer and fucking just have a good time and watch Godzilla.
No, but like I said, like you've got some valid complaints, and I hear where you're coming from on a lot of them. I think you're being a little too harsh in some areas, but at other times I'm just like, but overall, I get what you're saying, dude.
Yeah,
you're right.
It's an odd
me from loving
yes,
it.
And that's the weird odd disconnect going on here is because not a big Godzilla fan. You're a huge Godzilla fan who's like, nah, it's good, and I'm like trying to be like Godzilla should be held to a high standard. And like
it's Godfatherzilla.
It's such a weird stance for me to be taking because in honesty, I'm just like, man, that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah, it's just, I think more than anything, it just makes me optimistic to see that we finally made a good Godzilla movie.
Oh.
We're going down the road. Kong versus Godzilla is coming up here pretty soon.
We're capable. Exactly.
Yeah, we can do this. We can do our best effort for our best version of this. You know, and I'm looking forward to Legendary's doing a good job by me.
Oh, so yeah. I think so too. And maybe part of
they learned their lesson quicker than DC did.
Oh, yeah. And maybe it's just part of me. Yeah, that's what you're saying there is a very, very good point. With DC, what I was going to say,
you should see him physically try.
What I was going to say is, now I forgot what I was going to say. On to what you were saying with DC.
Sorry, I didn't mean.
We watched DC fail so horribly. Like, sure, 2014 Godzilla was boring and dumb.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
They didn't double down on
fucking Suicide Squad or Man of Steel.
It's not a mess.
You know what I mean? It wasn't a terrible mess. So like the fact that it only took them like a couple movies to get to
they went
a really good play, like an Aquaman level experience.
I was going to say what they did was they went from Man of Steel to Aquaman.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, Man of Steel to Shazam almost.
Maybe it's not like I'm not giving them enough credit because I'm not like, oh, this is a huge improvement.
No.
And also it's part of the cynicism in me knowing this fucking trend in movies that like this has to be a blockbuster franchise
Exactly.
universe.
This has to get, yeah.
So looking at what they were doing with the human story, knowing what they're trying to do with that,
Build that formula,
build
that
it,
style.
and
Yeah.
that formula. It's just like, I guess that's maybe what
I think no,
if it had the same fucking bullshit fallbacks in the human story it did, but it wasn't like Shield for Godzilla, I probably would have been like, yeah, it's super good. If it was just army.
I get what you're saying. It should be the army with like a science aid, like Monarch was in Kong of Skull Island, where they're there, but they're not the monster.
It's one guy there who's just like, your sergeant put me in charge.
Yeah.
It always never makes much sense. And it's like, I've seen stuff, man.
Yeah, I've been there, bro. I've been to the knob. Yeah, that would have been cool if we got
out.
like. I would have liked to have seen like a return of Tom Hiddleston's character or something like that. I thought that would be really cool, or like Brie Larson or something like that. They put a little old man lady makeup on him, or just do what they did in Captain America and just digitally age him because that looks infinitely better. But no, I get what you're saying because like it is you're 100% right, dude. Because they tried it with the Mummy. They got the organization that's gonna, take out these, and then they've got the organization for this and the organization for like. Why do we always have to have a big organization? Although, like,
work up to it.
It's like, yeah. Well,
all they did in the first couple one was go, we're Shield. I'm one character, and we're hinting that something bigger can come. Then when it was time, they're like, helicarrier.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Ba-boom. No, this one comes out of the gate with a giant bomber. No, but like I'm saying we don't need the giant organizations. We don't need that. Don't put them in.
Yeah,
the movie.
I know you're not. I know you're not an apologist for that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying since you like it more than me, you like the bad stuff.
This is the funny.
That's
part,
not what
though.
I'm saying.
This is the funny part though, was because like as I was watching it, I was just like, man, I don't want Shield for Godzilla. But then as I was watching, I was just like, well, he's got an eco-terrorist group. This is kind of cool.
Yeah,
it's like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's like it made me think of like G.I. Joe and Cobra and all that stuff. So it's got an appeal.
I
but
do
at the
like
same time,
the idea of a bad God, like we use monsters for bad eco-terrorists.
Yeah.
And I guess you have to have a counter for that. Like I said, it's mostly the cynicism of knowing where this formula came from.
That's what I'm talking. I'm agreeing
because
with
it
you.
follows it to a T.
Exactly.
And just that little
it's
bit.
It's that mass-produced kind of feeling that's underneath where you're just like, oh, this is another product. And I know that they're all products, but you don't want to see through that veil, And I feel like that's the problem with a lot of this time that we're living in with these big blockbusters. They're all so franchised and serialized and everything that we're starting to see that they just want our money.
Yeah.
And I get what you're saying. I just don't care.
I know exactly. And that's what I was saying. I'm not. You liking it more doesn't mean you're excusing the bad parts. I'm not accusing you of liking it.
Yeah, we're still friends and we like different things.
True. And I did like this. I do want to stress that.
Oh yeah, dude. No, again, I feel like we're talking in a circle.
We are. We're gonna move on here.
Yeah, so. Your critiques are heard, and I get it, and I agree on some of them. I think you need to pump the brakes on some of them, though.
Sure. Too harsh, perhaps.
Yeah.
I'll have to revisit Skull Island because
we
we had
really
a very
hope that
big
you do.
disagreement on that.
We were still disagreeing after we stopped recording.
Indeed. Anyway, is there anything else you would like to go see it?
Yes.
I give it a 1.5 thumbs up.
I give it 4 thumbs up.
Oh shit!
Counting the big toes.
Oh man. Do they call those feet thumbs?
Yeah. I was gonna say toe thumbs.
Toe thumbs. Toe.
Thumb toe.
Or did we start giving? What did we do last episode? We started giving thumbs, right?
Did we give thumbs? I thought we gave stars.
No, because I was thinking of something to call it, and you told me not to.
Oh, we did some stupid fish joke.
Like 2 out of 4 fishing poles. Anyway.
This is a great one.
No, I recommend it. You recommend it?
Of course.
Go see it. There's plenty out to see though, for sure.
Oh, I was going to talk about, I saw Good Omens on Amazon Prime. I've been waiting for this. And man,
Is it good?
I
It looks like
enjoy
one
it.
of those things that either had to be good or had to be really bad.
It's good. It's really good. It's. I still think it's funny that God, what's his name? He was the doctor, Dave Tennant. Dave Tennant through the whole movie. He just watched every Bill Nye role and was just like, that's who I'm gonna do it, man. And that's how he just walks around. He's got the little, like the little like raptor T-Rex arms that Bill Nye does. He's like, oh yeah. And the way he walks, like he's just so, especially when he's got the wig on in the flashbacks. He's got like this big wig. It's ridiculous. Him and Michael Sheen are awesome. John Hamm is great. It's really, really good. I liked a lot of it. I'm a big Neil Gaiman fan, and he was one of the co-writers. It was him and Terry Pratchett. And now that they've done this, I would love to see them maybe tackle some of his other books. I'd love to see a proper Neverwhere miniseries or something. I think that would be awesome. Neverwhere or maybe the Graveyard book would be pretty cool. I'd like to see him maybe do a big budget Discworld stuff like with Terry Pratchett's famed for that series and everything. Same kind of humor. It's like Douglas Adams for fantasy. The guy who did Hitchhiker's Guide.
Okay, got it.
It's like the fantasy version of that. And they're both great on their own marks. Neil Gaiman's just a great writer. I've loved him since I started reading Sandman. But yeah, it's another one where I'm like, wow, this was great. This was awesome. Everybody should check it out. Hope they make a Neverwhere book show that's worthwhile, because they made a BBC show and it was terrible. The book's way better, but
yeah, I like it. I like Amazon's style. Netflix is kind of getting off. Netflix is kind of in the weeds a bit.
I feel like Netflix is getting a little too big for their britches.
Yeah, but Amazon, I still always go with Miss Maisel.
I was gonna say they got Miss Maisel. That's a great
I enjoyed.
show.
I enjoyed a lot of that. Didn't watch every episode, but
I just finished watching the second season. Dude, so great. Dude, Shazam's in it.
Oh yeah, he is. And I enjoy that, and I like that they're keeping tight, kind of one season at a time story arc things going on. They're kind of carrying that torch over.
Some of them are a little but I do like. They got an anthology series called Electric Dreams, which I really enjoy.
Yes.
Their Jack Ryan show I really wanted to like, but it kind of.
I heard it wasn't great.
It's not that great.
But as much as I hate television, as I always talk about, certain miniseries, I really do enjoy. Obviously, Maniac was the last one.
Maniac was really good.
I really liked.
Hulu's Castle Rock was fantastic. I loved that show.
Heard, yeah, and
very, very creepy.
There's so many out there, and the thing is, the time investment with a lot of those shows is much higher. But there's so many movies out there that I can 2 hours and I'm done. It's hard to be like, do I have 10 hours?
Well, it's don't fall down that binge hole that everybody feels like you have to go down.
No, I know, but it's also like, here's the thing. There's plenty of these shows that I've seen a couple episodes of.
Yeah.
But
you can walk away and come back to some like episodic
but then I
ones,
almost never do.
Yeah.
So,
and if you come back to some of these shows, you've missed like a great chunk of the story and stuff. No, I get it. We were talking about this one day with how we both prefer the episodic formula more than the overarching story.
Exactly. So it's like if I don't get on these shows, like if there's not something piquing my interest and I get in right at the start and I watch it every week, as soon as I see there's like 4 episodes that I'm like behind, I almost just give up on it. I'm like,
well, that's what's great about Good Omens is it's only 6 episodes long. That's what I loved about House on Haunted Hill, Haunting of Hill House. Sorry, yes. Haunting of Hill House. That's a limited series. That's done. Maniac, one season.
It comes out, and I'm just like, I just know this is an 8-hour movie. And I'll do it in like 2 or 3.
The anthology of True Detective, as it was promised, which I'm not going to watch anymore.
Yeah,
but you don't have to. I'm not missing any story if I don't keep watching. I like single run things. I think they're great. Everybody keeps trying to get more Haunting a Hill House. They want that to keep going, and I'm like, no. Did you not see the end of the last episode?
Yeah,
it's done. There's nowhere to go. Just make another cool horror series.
Exactly.
Same dudes, not the same story. Like let's keep these anthology series going. Please keep these. I miss old mini series that used to show up on like NBC and stuff like that back in the day. Those are great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of TV, movie, and miniseries that I've liked. But yeah, like Good Omens. Good Omens?
Good Omens.
Good Omens.
Yeah, give it a check.
I was
dude.
interested in it, and maybe,
Dude, it's,
you know,
it's got, you'll like the humor in it, dude. You like Monty Python, you like Hitchhiker's Guide, you like all that kind of stuff. You'll definitely like this one.
there's just a lot of things pulling for my time, and
yeah.
I find it hard to pull the trigger on.
It's on Amazon Prime. It's not going anywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, just give it a shot at some point.
That's true. That's true. Like for instance, I still haven't watched what's that Chris Pine movie that you love so much on the Netflix?
Outlaw King.
Outlaw King. I still haven't watched that.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Come on.
And it's like, there's tons.
Yeah.
I've never seen the
Well,
Godfather
see, what sucks
Part
is
2.
like you've never seen Godfather Part 2?
No.
Wow.
See?
All right.
So how am I supposed to watch?
How do I prioritize?
How am I supposed to watch fucking what the hell's the name of that show? Fuck. He wanted to say Bad Robot. That's not what it's called.
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. How am I supposed to watch 40 episodes of Mr. Robot when I haven't even seen The Godfather Part
You know
2?
what you do? You watch the first season of Mr. Robot and you walk away because that was the last time it was good. Like honestly, I tried to stick with that show. Fuck that show. This is not interesting. Like everything cool and interesting that happened was the first season, and everything after that was just like, well, how can we keep going? And
Yeah,
like, you don't need to.
That's
you don't need to.
That's the downfall of television show formats. Well, it's popular. Got to keep it going. Well, we had an idea, and now we have to make a new idea.
Oh, it's like
even if it doesn't really fit.
It's like Supernatural is finally ending after 15 seasons. The show was planned. They had a 5-season run planned. After the 5th season, they won the day. Everything was good. And then they just kept going.
Yeah.
No, we're done.
That will happen.
Yeah. It's terrible. I hate it when shows go too long.
Luckily, Josh, I won't have to think about it very much because there's so many movies to watch coming up.
A lot coming up.
I still want to watch Rocket Man. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
Tell me how that is. I didn't watch the Queen one. Probably not going to watch Rocket Man. I've had it with music biopics.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're definitely not wrong there.
It's just, you always those are cookie cutter for sure.
And I skipped Bohemian Rhapsody for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, it looked like an editing nightmare.
I'm gonna see Rocket Man. I like old what's his face and fucking big Elton John.
Taron Egerton.
Yeah.
Don't watch Robin Hood.
No. Big Elton John fan, so I'm gonna check that one out. But Dark Phoenix comes out this weekend, and they're touting it as the end of the X-Men saga.
That's what they're saying. They're saying that this is the final movie.
Yeah, until Marvel
does
sucks
what it's
them in.
Gonna do.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So I'm looking forward to that.
So wait. I was just thinking about that. Does that mean that New Mutants is never coming out? Does it mean all the X-Men films or just the X-Men
that's
titled
a very,
films?
very, very, very good fucking question. Because, New Mutants... Wait, is that movie still happening?
Because that movie, it keeps getting postponed. Didn't it just get postponed again?
This must be the end to this saga. Which, in this timeline we're currently in, isn't Logan still alive? So they're all out there. It doesn't matter. But they're touting this as the last one.
Yeah, Mystique supposedly got him somewhere because that's where she picked him up in Days of Future Past. That's never been touched on again.
Remember in the last one, in Apocalypse, they let him loose in that facility.
Yeah, which was supposed to be being run by Mystique from the past, but it.
We'll see what happens. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be an interesting discussion as always with Josh around. So
I'm sorry in advance.
and I just enjoy those movies for what they are. And on top of that, so we're gonna have a normal episode. I'm sure it'll be that.
Because that's what
this
week.
This weekend.
This weekend. Yeah,
it comes out this weekend. So and then I also want to see Rocket Man. But next week there's going to be 2 episodes. There's going to be the normal Mighty Movie Pod, which will more than likely be about Dark Phoenix, but there is going to be a special episode that you do not have to listen to. But we've been wanting to do it for a while. In fact, we recorded one, or we were going to record one years ago, and it never came out. But we're going to do an E3 video game.
Oh yeah,
Video
we're finally
game-
doing it.
Yeah,
we haven't done that since the early days when we had our other.
But we get
podcast.
together and watch these stupid conferences and make jokes and talk about them nonstop.
Bad games, good games. Yeah.
Yeah, and finally, I think we're just gonna
bad presentations, which abound. They're so
they're
beautiful.
so good.
They're
It was
so
actually a
beautiful.
bummer that the Game Awards were somewhat
Dude, they were normal. They were
last year.
pretty normal. It was like, oh.
They're better when they're bad.
I think the only thing that made me laugh was the guys announcing Rage 2 like anyone gave a shit.
Yeah.
No.
Lo and behold, nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
Came out and it was Rage 2. So they even tried to act like it was going to be something that it wasn't, and it was just Rage 2.
Yeah.
So that'll be a video game special. It will not be an episode of the Mighty Movie Pod, but it'll be on your feed. You don't have to listen to it. But you probably should.
Yeah, please do. Don't listen to him. Like we've been doing great. Thanks for coming out and listening, guys.
Yes.
Like just because it's about video games doesn't mean you don't have to listen. You do.
And if you want, and if you listen/watch on YouTube and you're wondering why this is episode 64 and where episode 63 is, randomly
Those shitheads.
somebody decided to do a manual copyright DMCA takedown of the video.
Yeah, they yanked our shit
Of
for no
all
reason.
the things they could have done that to, this was 100% our recorded voice and Josh's original artwork.
Yeah.
And I went to YouTube like, fuck you. I'm going to counter-strike them because it is illegal to say you own something you do not.
Yeah.
And YouTube wouldn't put that through. I
basically just said we couldn't be bothered,
We have
yeah.
legal grounds to sue them because what they did is a crime.
Yeah.
But no, that video will be back up in 3 months, fucking when this copyright strike disappears. I don't want to risk putting it up again
Yeah.
because I don't want a second
A
copyright
counter
strike.
attack, yeah.
So that was dumb because the
counterattack,
thing is that doesn't make any sense.
No.
Is this isn't even a troll just trying to take
It's
the
not
money
like,
from the
'cause
video?
one of our other ones.
Yes,
was,
the
wasn't it?
automated system gets copyright stuff on it, and like, oh, it has a clip from Halloween. We're taking the money from this, which is nothing.
Yeah.
So that
We don't monetize.
And
so.
if it was that, I would understand, and those are easier to fight. This is a manual takedown of the video from the site, claiming that it was illegally put up there. Craziness.
Basically, what we think it is they looked at the time and they saw the title and they figured we just uploaded a bootleg.
We uploaded our cell phone footage of John Wick. And
Yeah. Which the guy next to me was filming when I
Yes.
was there watching it.
So that's annoying, but obviously the podcast channels are unaffected by that. You can
Yeah.
check. We're on all major podcasting apps, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. This is the Mighty Movie Pod. We are Mighty Fish Productions. You can find us at Mighty Fish Productions on YouTube, twitch.tv/Mighty Fish Productions. We're on Twitter at Mighty Movie Pod. That's where you can tweet us. That's where you can follow all of the new stuff. We're going to have 2 episodes coming out pretty soon. One video game related, one your scheduled programming. Thank you very, very much for listening.
Thank you.
My name has been Ryan and still probably is.
I am and ever shall be Josh.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.